Mickey and Matt, yeah, they're cranking it up. Jumping down theories like a hyperactive pup. Rambo Joe lit the fuse, Dave said take control. Now we're broadcasting live above the rabbit hole. Ancient aliens, lizard kings, government plots and shadowy things. Laughing while they're chasing the truth in the dark. Are we crazy? Sure, but that's the spark. So smash that like button, buckle in tight. We're going down deeper than a cue drop tonight. 10 for shining, the jokes are rolling. Hold on folks, the truth is scrolling. Yeah, smash that like button. Welcome to the show. We're live above the rabbit hole. Mickey's on the mic, dropping jokes like bombs. Matt's taking notes while he's reading the Psalms. Bigfoot, chemtrails, a man in black. Whatever you believe, it'll make you laugh back. Was it real? Was it stage? Was the moon landing fake? Ask the boys, they know the code. Or at least they'll improvise an episode. Smash that like button, let the madness roll. Welcome to the wild side. Above the rabbit hole.
Above it today, Matt, after we spent a lot of time last night in it with BB McGuire.
What a great show last night. I would encourage everybody needs to watch that show.
Well, here's
not
the weird
just should,
thing.
but needs.
Here's the weird thing for me. I'm not going to lie. I did this show because I love BB. I love Rambo. And I thought going into it, like, man, I'm not going to know anything she has taught. She was so freaking good at presenting so much information
and making it all understandable and flow. And it was an incredible presentation.
To not know medical stuff, but understand how it affects the body is where we are, right? Like, we don't understand when she starts talking about greens, folic acid, folate, all the different things we learned about last night and what it does to half the population. Half the people cannot process folic acid.
Yeah, and
we just drench
in
everything.
All of our food.
Everything is drenched
all of our grains. It's a must watch. I think not because of us, but BB and her amazing information. I think we asked some good questions, but what a great show.
And before we get into today's guest, that goes even deeper, we're going to get into cancer. We're going to get into the way he talks about the body at a molecular level and cellular level. It's when you hear people truly educated in the science talk about, you realize just how much evil is controlling
corruption, just everything corruption.
We eat, drink, wear, everything has been a shortcut and sideline for profit.
It all seems to be connected too, health and our food. It's all connected, and nobody is looking to make you healthy.
No,
doesn't appear that way anyway.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to make you healthy.
They want to make a buck.
Except people like BB and our guest today. Our guest today, I met, 20 years ago, maybe. He was a businessman involved. He was a doctor, an anesthesiologist. He had an investment in a restaurant bar that while I was on the radio, I would host things or perform at. I met Dr. Crawford, Ken, as I call him. Great guy, just a guy's guy when you hang out with him. Then, you go your separate ways in life. And then through Facebook, I had learned he moved out of Maryland. And the next time I saw anything from him, he was working on cancer research. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And I followed him quietly for years, just what he was doing. And then when we started this show a couple of months ago, in the back of my head, I said, when we get a little further along, I want to talk to Dr. Ken, because this is the kind of stuff we're doing right now is making people aware of just how much conspiracy and fraud and bad practice is out there. So if it's okay with you, Matt, I'd like to bring our guest in. Our guest, like I said, was former anesthesiologist and a devout researcher in a lot of areas, Dr. Ken Crawford. Ken, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you, Mick?
Good to see you. It's been a long time, buddy.
It has. It has.
Definitely. Okay, Ken, so I'm going to update the audience quickly. So in 2012, your father was basically dying of cancer. He had prostate cancer. He battled it for close to 18 years. And at the end, you moved to where he was to take care of him. And those last 3 months, just as a doctor yourself and understanding medicine and things, you were, I'll use the word appalled at the way they were just out of options and didn't know what to do. And you later, since that, decided you were going to find out if there was a better way for cancer treatment than what your father received. So up until that moment, am I correct in what I've explained?
Yes.
Okay. So pick it up from there, Ken. Your father had passed away. You're obviously a med student, obviously interested in science, and you have that kind of mind.
Well, I'm not a med student anymore. I'm a doctor.
Yeah, that's true. What I meant was you had a natural calling for science, for medicine. You wanted to pursue that.
Correct.
As you started pursuing what you believe to be real medicine, you learned some things. What was the biggest surprise to you, let's say, once your father passed, and we're very sorry for that, but once he passed and you started your journey, where was the thing where you went, holy smokes, I'm diving in here? What was it actually where you dove in?
It was about a year and a half after my father passed. So after my father passed, there was, when you're in med school, they pose hundreds of questions to you as a med student. And you sit there and think of them and come up with your best answer. And then they give you an answer. And all through med school, I accepted every answer they ever gave me except one. And that was to the question, why do cancer patients lose so much weight? And their answer was basically, well, the cancer cells are dividing so fast that they eat up all the body's energy. And I was like, you know, women have entire babies in 9 months and they don't die from cachexia, which is that shrunken away concentration camp look. So I threw that answer out. This question plagued me my entire life. And I would literally think about this question once a month. But I never had the time to really work on it. And when my father passed, I asked my brother to buy a big stack of legal pads and a bunch of pens. And every day I would sit there and I'd always felt there was like a mathematical type graph answer to this question. So I started working on it. And I would draw up 3-4 graphs a day, not be happy, wad them up and throw them over the trash can, and every night pick them up and put them in the trash can. And on December 11th, 2012, 2/11/2012, and I was reading targeted journal articles. So, and for any of your audience that doesn't know, there's a government website, pubmed.gov, and they publish every medical literature journal article that's ever been there. And they have a search bar so you can type in keywords. And I was doing that. And I found this article from 1977, the year I graduated high school. And what they had done is they had autopsied 2 bodies, one that had died from cachexia of starvation, the wasting away, and the other had died from cachexia of cancer. And what they found was all their internal organs had shrunk, except the big difference was in the cachexia of cancer, the liver had actually hypertrophied, had grown massively. And by that one simple clue, the next day I woke up and I drew a graph, and I immediately knew I was right. And we tried to prove it in secret, and it'd be very easy to prove over the spring and the summer, but everybody wanted to know what we were doing, and I wasn't really willing to tell people unless they signed a non-disclose, because there's a lot of thievery of ideas in medicine. So in August, I had the idea, hey, I'll just write a little book and tell this theory, and that'll be my time stamp that this is mine. Okay. So I wrote my first book called Cancer, A Breakthrough Theory, and it's available on Amazon and Kindle. It's like $3. And that theory is in there. And basically what the theory says is that all the energy that we're losing, we're actually breathing out in the form of lactate molecules, which is a high energy molecule. And while we can't smell them, dogs can smell them, and it smells sweet to dogs. And that's why dogs are picking up on cancer.
I've heard that before. That's interesting.
So when I released this book, I started getting tons of calls and emails, and they were all the same. How do I set my dinner plate? I was like, well, didn't your oncologist give you any dietary information? And the universal 100% answer was goose egg, 0. And I thought back to my dad's 18 years, and I thought, oh my God, he never got any dietary advice. So I thought about it really hard, and I thought, can I really take 6 months off to research this and dedicate myself and write a second book, basically giving dietary help? And I thought, I love what I do as an anesthesiologist, so why not? I'm not in a hurry to retire. I'll take 6 months off and write this second book. And upon the writing the final chapter, a sequence of unusual events happened that led me to my first discovery of apoptosis. Apoptosis is, first off, it won the 2002 Nobel Prize in Medicine, the discovery of it. They don't give that award out for fairy tales. This is as real as it gets. What they were able to describe back in 2002 was a central core of 4 proteins that are encoded for by our DNA. Our DNA encodes for roughly 21,000 proteins. This is 4 of them. Think of these 4 proteins like 4 dominoes set up in a row on a table. Tip over the first domino, it falls. It's the second falls. It's third falls. It's fourth lands flat on the table. The first domino, anybody can look this up. This is all verified. First domino is that protein is called P53, protein 53. And when it activates, it hits the next one called BAX. It's the next one called caspase 9. It's the next one called caspase 3. So what P53 is doing in all of our cells, and you each have 100 trillion cells in your body. A mass of tissue the size of a sugar cube is 1 billion cells. The numbers are outrageously huge. Yeah. But in every single one of those cells with a nucleus and DNA, and that excludes like red cells in the cornea of your eyes. But every other one of those cells, P53 is swimming around in your nucleus, and it's scanning your DNA every second of our lives in all of those cells. Normal DNA does not activate it. The domino remains fixed and standing. And basically, by that fact, That's why we all aren't just walking down the street and turn into a pile of sand, because it doesn't activate to normal, healthy DNA. But when it finds a cancerous fingerprint, it activates. The domino tips over. Hits the next one, next one. And
when it finds a fingerprint, Dr. Ken, I missed that. I'm sorry.
A DNA fingerprint of cancer.
I see.
And it picks up every single cancer.
Yeah.
And when the last domino, caspase 3, hits the table, that cell will 100%, no exclusion, self-destruct. Boom, gone.
This is any type of cancer at all.
Yeah. Now, when I was in med school back in the early 80s, there were professors that used to walk the halls. Well, we all get cancer 7 or 8 times in our lifetime, but it's that last one that kills us. And I'd always secretly roll my eyes in the back of my head, you know. But today, I believe that cancer is forming in our bodies maybe 100 million times over the course of our lifetime.
Wow.
That sounds so huge, but that's actually the size of a BB shot out of a BB gun. And over the course of our lifetimes, we would never miss that. Now, one of the key things is all cancer starts from one bad cell, and it grows and grows and grows. Well, how does it grow against apoptosis? What they were unable to describe, and what nobody has done, is what I set out to do in the summer of 2014. And basically, I had to retire in my early 50s, give up my income stream, and try to do what nobody had been able to do. And I know why nobody's been able to do it. But
let me stop you there, Ken. Why? Why has no one been able to do it?
They all did it in teams. And some of the clues are so soft that you don't realize it's a clue until you put 4 or 5 of them together and then have the aha moment. Oh, this is what's going on. But if you have researcher A, B, and C, and one of those researchers doesn't read all the clues and then have the aha moment, it never gets put together.
So you don't think there were any type of ulterior motives behind not wanting to put this information out? It's literally just miscommunication between people.
Well, I don't think there were ulterior motives, because some of the research is being done internationally, and internationally they don't really have ulterior motives.
So are you ruling out? Okay, so let me ask you a lay question here. I get cancer tomorrow. Everything they tell me I have whatever kind of cancer I have, prostate cancer. Do you believe that you have discovered enough, and I'm just asking you directly, that you have discovered enough that you could treat me from an early stage and I would not have to go through any of the BS cancer, chemo, radiation, all of that horrible drugs? Do you think you could treat me early and knock down the cancer?
So, first, I am not God.
I understand that.
I cannot promise anybody a cure.
Right.
The things I can promise is I'll never lie to somebody, and I'll always be in their court, meaning my objective is them first, and anything that I suggest is meant for their benefit, not necessarily mine. In direct answer to your question, yeah, I do. So
yeah. Why were you restricted in getting help or in getting this published? Where does that come in? Why wouldn't the world want to hear Ken Crawford found another way to treat cancer?
Well, by.
So it really all just comes down to money. It really all just comes down to money.
Possibly. Ken, I've got, for clarification, apoptosis. So that is a cellular process that happens automatically within our cells.
Automatic.
So when people get cancer and then they have to get treated with chemo and the current treatments, radiation and immunotherapy, how come that didn't work for them? How come that was not activated within their cells to take care of those cancer cells?
The chemotherapy in those don't work
to
activate apoptosis because science hasn't figured it out. I'm literally the only person in history to have been able to map it out. And I thought it would take me 3 years. And that was working 12 to 14 hours a day, every single day of the year for 3 years, no breaks, worked on Christmas and Easter. And it actually only took me 2 years and 9 months. I remember the last clue that I put in to formulate the puzzle. Essentially, what is happening is to the inner core, there's an outer shell. And this shell is comprised of 30 proteins. And these proteins, in science, we call them, and there's research papers out there calling it that, the pieces of the puzzle. And somewhere in your puzzle is a piece with a torn tab, a mutation. Okay. Now, these proteins are the most highly protected proteins within our genome against mutation. But it's not perfect. And of your 100 trillion cells, if you get cancer, one of those mutated one of these and it learned to turn off apoptosis, and cancer was off to the races.
Yeah.
So basically, these pieces of the puzzle, these proteins, they're acting like gears, and they're turning each other off and on and off and on and on and off. The end result being they are lifting or lowering any of 6 gates. 2 gates come down between domino 1 and 2. 2 gates between 2 and 3, and 2 between 3 and 4. And if a gate comes down, it blocks the domino before the gate from being able to hit contact and activate the domino after the gate.
Yeah.
Thereby canceling self-destruction.
So you found a way to, make that process complete in these mutated cells?
So by building the map of what is all the interactions, and it's the most complicated map ever. And one of the other reasons why the PhD researchers haven't been able to figure it out is that one of my biggest clues actually came from my history of being a clinician and looking at tens of thousands of people's lab printouts. And there was something I noticed in cancer patients that helped lead me to one of the biggest discoveries. Mm-hmm. They're not clinicians, these PhDs, and they wouldn't pick up on that. And in fact, probably most doctors, well, I don't think any doctor would. It's pretty subtle. But so we have pairs of chromosomes. So mm-hmm. we have 2 copies of all of those genes. And so there's a total of 68 genes because there's 34 proteins. And somewhere in there, one of them has a mutation that dropped one of the gates. The odds under normal Earth, what you're exposed to, of that second copy mutating in that cancer, even if it grows to, say, 15 billion cancer cells, which is, 15 sugar cubes.
Yeah.
The odds of it, of that second copy mutate, is basically like winning Powerball twice in a row.
Jesus.
Sure, it could happen. Will it ever? No.
Right.
The problem is if you go applying an artificial mutagen to that load of cells, be it 2 billion, 5 billion, if you go applying an artificial mutagen, it's not a matter of if, but how big of a subset will you create that has a double mutation. And once that happens, apoptosis is out the window. You no longer have any of the instruction in your how to do it. But
if I may for a second, I mean, I am holding on to every word of this. It's fascinating.
Yeah. What?
But my question right now, it sounds like you're saying, and I listen, you have to understand, you are talking to someone that has, I'm not being funny here, a 10th grade education. I have done a lot of reading in my life. I consider myself somewhat of an autodidact. However, I have never been down the road of knowledge that you have. So I need to ask you some specific questions here to help me understand. Number one, these four things you're talking about, these 4 cells that are in the 4 dominoes that are in order. The first one that's infected, or whatever that is called, activated, it triggers this one. This one triggers this one. This one triggers this one.
So the activation of P53 is within the nucleus. There's a nuclear wall
around the cell.
No, there's a cell wall.
The
There's
nucleus
also
of the
a
cell.
wall
Nucleus
around
of the cell.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, got it. So now we're inside the cell.
We have to get that information outside of that wall. And the activation between P53 and BAX is on the other side of the wall.
Right.
So that puts the information, hey, we need to kill ourselves, out into the cytoplasm where the reaction takes place.
Okay, and once that reaction takes place at B, B then sends a signal out again to another wall, and then that
not to another wall.
The walls block it, is what he's saying.
Oh, okay, gotcha. The walls block it. So if the walls don't block it, this signal continues of destruction.
Yeah.
So,
and then, basically complicated like that so that we all don't turn into piles of sand on the sidewalk.
Right. I understand. Now that I've never really broke it down how cancer actually forms and then activates in the body.
Yeah. So
is that any cancer? Every cancer has those 4?
Yeah. Well, every cell has those 4. And the activation of those, which is happening maybe like I think 100 million times over a life, it's killing these cancers as soon as DNA turns to a cancerous form.
Yeah.
Okay. But remember, all cancer starts from one bad cell. So one cell
it's a mutated cell.
Off. Now the thing is, Western medicine, Western oncology actually knows the percentage by which each of these gates is down. They just haven't figured out that if you add them all up, it equals 100%, and that one of them must be down in every single cancer. Gate 1 is down in 50% of all cancers, 1 and 2. Gate 3 is down in approximately 25%. Gate 5 in approximately 15%, and gate 6 in approximately 10%. Well, that equals approximately 100%, but leaves out gates 2 and 4. Gates 2 and 4 are about 1 in 200 for about 0.5% each. Now, oftentimes when somebody has cancer and they announce it to their family and friends and neighbors, they get the response, hey, smoke marijuana. I hear it really helped that lady Millie up the street. Now, anybody spewing that to me or any of these other things that you might read is they're spreading voodoo, and I do not ascribe to voodoo. Having said that, marijuana actually affects one of the pieces of the puzzle, and it will fix it if that's where your problem is. That's at a protein that's called BAD, bad, and that's the actual name of the protein. But that is in gate 4. Gate 4 is a 1 in 200 chance. Now, if you're that 1 in 200 person where that's where your mutation is, and you smoke marijuana or you consume RSO, Rick Simpson oil, which is marijuana seed oil, you're going to get way better, way fast. You may have been dying on your sofa within a week, and your cancer cells are just going to melt away. Well, then, what is human nature? Human nature is to throw a ladder up to your roof and climb up there with a megaphone. Hey, here's all you got to do. Smoke marijuana. I feel great. And you're all over Facebook, and you're all over the blogs, and you're writing books like Chris Beats Cancer. Hold on, my phone.
Hope that's not the FBI.
Spam. Don't you love today that calls say spam call?
I love it. I love it. Hey, Ken, I want to ask you this. When the body, all right, with the way you just described that last part about the marijuana affecting one element of it or helping one part, if you have that one part, it will definitely make you better. Correct? Or are you not hearing me?
I think oh no, can you hear us, Ken? I don't know if we're able to hear you right now. It doesn't appear that he's muted.
I can't hear him. You may have to go down to your settings, Ken, and your phone.
Yeah. So we'll type in the chat here for him.
Yeah, he's going to hang up, and
okay.
Just hang up, call back. All right, let's see what happens. All right, he should call right back.
Yeah.
Matt.
So apoptosis is the word of the day here today.
Yeah, apoptosis.
It's a cellular process. And I want to hear the rest of his mapping. He was talking about the mapping between the 4 different markers there, the dominoes that here's Ken. We'll get him back on here.
Okay. Hopefully we got.
Hey, Ken, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm turning off my phone.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, probably just knocked it out. That's all, buddy. No big deal.
Ken, I would like to hear more about the just your mapping as far as apoptosis goes and how you affect.
Let me answer Mickey's question first.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So real quick. So that marijuana can help that one part, which I get. It made perfect sense to me. And you said that's 1 in about 200 people with cancer have that one part. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
so
that,
what happened?
Wait a minute. My question about that is this. Can that be identified with a simple test? Could you know your cellular? So if you got cancer and they said, all right, we're going to do this test.
They do genetic testing. We'll talk about that. They do genetic testing on tumors. And that's pretty gold standard today that
okay, so that leads me
to have a biopsy and they don't genetically test it. Pretty much today that's malpractice.
Okay, understood. Then that's wonderful. However, are the results the way you're speaking of them ever addressed with the patient and then treatment for their particular genetic makeup in that area? What would be best for them? Or is it just take the chemo, take the radiation, it'll kill everything. Good luck, everybody. As opposed to saying, hey, you have that
Number
cancer that marijuana can help.
Number B, the doctors today are brainwashed to literally not believe anything natural can affect the body. And of course, everything you put in your mouth affects the body, period. I mean, you know, look, from the simplest things, you know, they had Snicker bar commercials. Not feeling yourself today? Eat a Snicker. Well, what are they really talking about? They're talking about hypoglycemia. Eat the sugar, bring your sugar back up, and return to normal.
Well, Ken, this is the most frightening part of this conversation so far to me. And I'm just going to ask it directly. Are you saying that genetically we know exactly how to treat the human that has that cancer properly, naturally?
Well, it's not the cancer; it's the type
the
genetically
makeup,
predisposed,
right?
Right.
The genetics for each person with cancer. With a simple test, we could say, yes, marijuana would help you. Yes, castor oil would help you. Yes, eating raw oysters. I'm being facetious, but whatever it is, you're saying we know how to do that now?
I do.
That's insane, man. Am I being over the top?
No, we're literally talking about the cure for cancer. I mean,
that's what we're saying right now.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
I got to keep going with this, Ken. I'm sorry. This is so profound. It's so profound.
Listen, so anyway, you're that 1 in 200 person. You climb up on your roof and you shout out and you write your book. And then you go on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Oh, here's a guy who cured cancer. Well, the next 199 people that do it, nothing happens. Because it's not their piece of the puzzle with the torn tab. But then along comes that 1 in 200 person again, and that's where their mutation is, and they get way better. And then human nature kicks in again, and they climb up on the roof with a megaphone, and they're all over Facebook, and they too go on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Oh, but you other 199 must not have done it right. Like there's a wrong way to smoke marijuana?
No, Ken, you've explained
they don't understand the science of what's going on.
And what I'm telling you, man, I don't even know if you realize it. You have literally explained it in a way that anyone can understand. You don't need to know F all about anything scientific other than you're saying this. You know how to genetically treat cancer based on the genetics of the patient. And you will have great results in those specific areas where you can identify the proper natural treatments.
Like, for instance, everybody's talking about ivermectin today.
Right. And my whole chat room right now is nothing but ivermectin. Everyone's talking about it.
Ivermectin, one is, it won the Nobel Prize of Medicine for its discovery. It's a great drug. It's right up there with the discovery of insulin and penicillin.
Wow.
Man, what a disaster to humanity that the powers that be fought against it during COVID.
Why was that?
Come on.
Why do you think that was? It was all money.
Yeah, Ken.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt,
it's a crime against humanity.
You're right, Ken. I hate to say it. Man, I'm like, it gets emotional.
It does get emotional. My aunt died from COVID.
I know people I loved that died of cancer. I mean, everyone does.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We can't change that. We cannot. And we can hate that it happened, but we can prevent it, man.
Yeah, for our kids and for the people in the future.
Oh my God.
So Dr. Ken, just so I understand, I know
evil in this world, Matt.
I know you mentioned specifically
go ahead.
somebody that was predisposed genetically could take marijuana, for instance. But for the people that aren't, are you saying there are other natural methods that you found for everybody for any type of cancer?
So the most of the genetic cases either are caused by a different system, the BRCA system, for example, that goes into repairing when mutations happen, because our cells have the ability to repair DNA. And if this is being done inaccurately, it leads to mutations. And so somebody with, like Angelina Jolie, she had a 87% chance of getting breast or ovarian cancer because of her familial BRCA mutation.
Yeah.
There are also mutations like Lynch syndrome and familial polyposis, and these are down in gate 6. And if you compensate, and I've figured out how to, because they still have one correct gene, and I can push proteins around such to compensate for that. And I believe that if I gave them something twice a year for 15 days, that they never have it from. Now,
Nice.
I've never done that, but I believe I can do that. So the ivermectin works at gate 3. Frankincense, 2,000 years ago, people took frankincense. Did they burn it in churches? No. What they did because it protected health and kept 25% of them from getting cancer.
They would consume it? They would consume frankincense?
Yeah, they'd chew it like gum. Actually, I've chewed it like gum, and I can taste the active molecule in it because the active molecule is also in chrysanthemum tea, and I can taste it in that.
I mean, my mind is still like, I can't believe what I'm hearing, man.
Yeah, I know. So if somebody had cancer today, I mean, what would you tell them to do if it was one of your loved ones, or say it wasn't one of your loved ones, because you would probably help those people out personally. But I'm saying if it was somebody you knew, a friend you cared about, they got cancer, what would you tell them to do?
Honestly,
even with their own doctor, I mean, yeah.
Honestly, Ken, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to write a letter to President Trump saying, I'm dying of cancer. The hospital sent me home to die. Would you please get the FDA off Dr. Crawford's butt?
So they've been,
Did I just say that?
they've been an obvious problem for you.
Think about, let's get into that a second.
Well, here's what the FDA is saying. So I had a protocol.
Dr. Ken, I have to do something first before you say what you say. Okay. And this is just, I for the credibility of everything about this entire thing, I need to say it. Number one, Matt and I are really moved by what you're saying, and it is having an incredible impact on me. However, I am in no position to argue your intellect or the things you're saying. I am taking you at your word, sir. And if it comes out later that you were being
a snake oil salesman,
right, a snake oil salesman, no offense, but you understand what I'm saying to you, correct?
100%.
I'm going to give you this platform, but I need you to understand where we are. And Matt, are you in agreement with what I said?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're Dr. Ken is our guest.
This is huge stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's massive. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr. Ken. Thank you.
So during these 2 years and 9 months of researching, and ultimately I wrote a 900-page book out of it. Okay.
Wow.
And then I thought, Oh my God, nobody's ever going to read 900 pages. That's bigger than, that's like Les Miserables.
Dictionary, yeah.
So I broke it down into 2 books, and I have not yet, and I may never release the second volume. The first volume is called New Oncology, NU-Oncology, and it's available on Amazon. And it's really about a book of cancer prevention. And all the references are in there, and you can go and search the references. For instance, chapter 1, I believe that by a simple, relatively, adjustment to our diet, that I can prevent 90% of the colon cancer cases in this country.
I wish there were more doctors like you, Dr. Ken.
Dude,
I mean,
this is, my God.
It's what we're all, I think, thankfully, a lot of people are starting to discover is that our food is medicine. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wish there were more docs, talking like you.
I'm literally having trouble focusing because I keep saying in my head that this dude can fix cancer. Like, how many times do you think you ever going to meet someone in your life, Matt?
Yeah.
Where a guy is explaining it to you in a way where you go, man, this guy can fix cancer.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Ken.
And we act like it's not supposed to punch us in the face.
Do you think part of the problem is, as well, is doctors are not getting the nutritional background that they should have in preventative?
I believe this is the biggest fault in current medical training. The amount of information that we learn about nutrition during med school is literally zero.
Yeah.
I mean, God, as far as the AMA is concerned, you should eat McDonald's 3 times a day.
Crazy.
I mean, literally. And you do learn, vitamin B1 and berry, and you need vitamin B1 to not get, but my second book really, and New Oncology is my third, really dealt with polyphenols, the plant-made molecules that are benefiting our health. And they're generally in a lot of fruits and vegetables. They're the ones that make it colored, like the skin of red onions or purple cabbage. And they have the polyphenols. Well, in New Oncology, I focused on a subset of polyphenols called the flavonols.
Mm-hmm. And
they are literally the royal family of the polyphenols. And a lot of my research is what happens to the human body when we dramatically increase these molecules. And you can search these molecules again on PubMed.gov and type in whatever your ailment might be that you're interested in and see if there's any research on it.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Ken, we have a thing on our show. I'm sorry. They're called rants, and people actually donate money to the show to ask a question. And this one's right in this moment. And this is from Stadium Zone 1 with a $10 question for the doctor. Has Dr. Ken brought his findings to either RFK Jr., Dr. Oz, and the Maha movement? Have you thought about that, or have you attempted? Uh-oh.
It sounds like he can't get past the FDA. Can you hear us, Dr. Ken?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm deciding how to answer this question.
Okay, take your time, please. I know I can't imagine the position you're in. And Dr. Ken, listen.
Well,
if
look,
you want to pass,
I've always believed that the truth is the right answer.
That's what this show's
The
about.
truth is, I have RFK Jr.'s phone number in my phone. We have spoken. He has referred me some cases.
Mm.
Friends of his. And he didn't tell me not to do this, but look, I'm an excitable young man. I get excited when I'm rubbing elbows with some bigwig like you
Sure.
do.
Doesn't take much, does it, Ken?
So I put on Facebook that I'd spoken to RFK Jr. about this. He got mad that I did that.
Mm.
You know, he has to worry about the political end of things.
Mhm.
I don't care about politics. I
Yeah.
care about humanity. So he ended our friendship over the fact
Wow. Oh, what a shame,
that
man.
I wrote on
Now,
Facebook. Hey,
let me ask you a question then. I'm going to be direct since you were direct with us and drop that on this show. Do you believe that that friendship could be repaired if it were explained properly from your point of view and the frustration you were under, knowing that you can literally, perhaps, I shouldn't say literally, that you could perhaps have the cure for cancer and he could possibly understand? Do you think that's
I always believe friendships can be repaired. I'm the easiest going, most
so
forgiving.
say something good about him right now? Do you believe that he really has the American people's best interest at heart when it comes to medicine?
I absolutely do. 100%. The changes that he's trying to make to our food supply, and I'll talk about this in a little bit because we still have another hour to go.
Dude, I could do
But, but here is what is not being addressed in this country. Okay. In 2007, 50% of our corn crop got diverted to ethanol.
Yeah. High fructose corn syrup.
In 2008, guess what happened? The incidence of cancer was creeping along. In 2008, and it angled up. Why would it angle up like that? Man, it's been around for hundreds of thousands of years. And cancer was holding steady, and then it angled up. And the incidence of autism angled up as well. Because in 2008, we began spraying the cornfields with the herbicide atrazine. And atrazine is the second most common used herbicide in this country after Roundup. But I feel it is far worse. Atrazine is the plastics problem of the next generation.
Yeah.
And the reason is Roundup self-disintegrates, breaks up. Atrazine doesn't. And it's now in our groundwater. Europe banned it in the early 2000s. But we still spray, you know.
It's unbelievable.
I drove up to Chicago because I imported a dog from Europe about 6 years ago. I drove up in May, across Interstate 80 in Iowa, and I'm going after mile of these, what will be cornfields, and they look, and this is mid-May, they look like you're walking on the moon. There was nothing on them. Now, naturally, there should be weeds on them somewhere, but nothing. That's because they've been drowned with atrazine, and then when the corn grows, the atrazine soaks up in the roots, and it's in your corn. It's in the high fructose corn syrup. It's in your Coca-Cola. It's in your jujubes. It's in your popcorn.
It's probably in our meats. The cows are eating it. You know, it's on all of our meats and eggs and whatever they feed it to as well. It's crazy.
The international research and the reference linked to this article is in New Oncology. It's in the conclusion. Atrazine increases the cellular enzyme STAT3, STAT3. That is the core of gate 3. And increased STAT3 brings down gate 3.
Now, you mentioned earlier that the marijuana fixes one of those gates. Do you know what fixes? Yeah, well, what fixes the one you're talking about now? What would be something you would tell someone to do that had that gate issue?
So in my book, New Oncology, there's many things that affect gate 3. Many. Chapters 24 through 27 highlight on the major ones, with the exception of one thing, which is the quininoium tea that my tea company sells, which actually is the strongest at downregulating STAT3. So numerous things in history throughout different cultures, and a lot of them are linked to different religions around the world, and they figured out, hey, our health gets better if we take this. And lo and behold, they're all STAT3 downregulators. Frankincense. In Indian culture, in the Hindu culture, ashwagandha. In the Muslim culture, black seeds. Have you ever heard of black seeds?
Mm-hmm.
Black seeds are way healthy. Basically, they're a very potent STAT3 inhibitor. Chrysanthemum tea. And there's a whole black licorice does it.
Wow.
I mean,
real black.
Now, do you consider cancer a parasite?
So parasites can.
You've heard this a lot recently, right? There's
It's
a
a
doctor.
parasite?
There's a doctor right now that's claiming that cancer is basically a parasite, and that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm certainly no expert in this, but anyway. So go ahead then. Cancer parasites. Go ahead.
So cancer cells in large groups, they have to undergo certain pre-treatment to possibly become cancer. And the biggest of these is called HIF induction. And through HIF induction, it builds up how much energy a cancer cell is able to make by anaerobic, without oxygen, metabolism, because that's how cancer cells run. And they have to increase their production of glucose through non-oxygen metabolism by a factor of 14. And this is actually how a PET scan detects whether you have cancer. Is they inject radio-tagged glucose into you, and they put a big Geiger counter, and if that glucose is moving through 14 times faster, then that's a cancer cell. And there are multiple pre-treatments, and one of the potential pre-treatments is an increase in STAT3, this molecule, which atrazine does. Having parasites also increases STAT3, because what STAT3 does is when you have an infection, one of the things it does is it alerts your white cells to attack. And it wants to attack the parasites. It's not strong enough to kill the parasites. You need to take like ivermectin. But in this country, everybody thinks they have parasites. Very few people have parasites in this country.
Yeah.
And it's easy to treat, but that's not going to fix the underlying problem of your mutation that dropped one of those gates. But yeah, if you have a STAT3 increase due to parasites,
yeah,
that's a problem, and you should get it fixed. You probably also have autoimmune diseases are a disease of increased STAT3, and the macrophages, white cells, are so overexcited they're attacking your own body.
So what counters that exactly? Is that the ingredient?
Frankincense, chrysanthemum tea,
Yeah, the stuff you mentioned.
tea does it. The molecule myristin,
Gotcha.
black seeds, ashwagandha, and these are all just ones off the top of my head. They're the most common ones.
So I got a couple of quick questions for you. First of all, I'm sorry I didn't know about your book. Is that something that's accessible for lay people? Is that something we should point people towards?
Yeah, I wrote it and rewrote it, trying to make it as easy and comprehensible as possible.
What's the title? We'll be sure to link it afterwards.
NU-Oncology.
Okay.
On Amazon.
And my question is, say the FDA gave you a green light today. I mean, what would that look like?
They won't.
Where would you go from there? What would happen, do you think, to cancer treatment?
Let's put it this way. Okay. Gate one. Gate one is a mutation of P53. The gene that programs for it is called TP53. And on genetic testing, there's often a line that'll say TP53, and it'll give you a printout of what they tested for, and it'll say normal or mutated. This is mutated in 50% of all cancer cases. Interestingly, elephants never get cancer. They have 23 or 26 pairs of the P53 gene. And they never get cancer. Well, we only have one pair.
Yeah.
But if one is mutated, it doesn't work. And I believe that with 2, maybe 3 molecules in the purified form, and I couldn't get the purified form; they're expensive currently, but and I just use natural herbs because it's 1% of the cost.
Yeah.
But given twice a year for probably 15 days, I believe I could cut the number of cancer cases in America by half.
Wow.
Now, in 2023, 609,000 Americans died of cancer. In 2024, that number rose to 611,000 Americans. Last year, it was 618,000, and they were spot on from their estimates in January.
I'm
by the
curious
end of
why
the
you said half. Why did you say half?
because I can make P53 function correctly.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
half
that's
the
in half the
people.
population.
Right, doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
got you.
just fixing that.
Yeah.
You know,
And say taking a capsule for 15 days twice a year. This next year, that number of Americans is anticipated to go to 626,000. You know, y'all have Ora Park at Camden Yards out there.
yeah,
That number is greater than that ballpark filled to capacity 16 times.
Mm.
Imagine 4 by 4, 16 of them. More than that number of Americans are dying every year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
hey, Ken, you mentioned earlier that the fallout with RFK Jr. And he had sent you some cases. Did he rescind those cases? Did you ever get a chance to do the work? And if so, what were the results?
I'm not going to talk about those. It's
Okay,
too.
I won't push. I won't push. You've been incredibly forthright with a lot, so I'll respect that. Let me ask you this. The political side of this is very frustrating for a guy like me that doesn't even understand what half the stuff this country tolerates from either side. However, saying that, in the structure and order that we have, how does a guy like you fight big pharma? How does a guy like you fight the FDA? Is it just exposure? Is it just getting the word out?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, Matt,
So-
that's
so
the thing.
here's my crime, according to the FDA. My protocol had 20 herbs in it, 1 mushroom, and 1 animal product. The animal product is cod liver oil. It does something very specific. Everything in the protocol is necessary and specific to do little function to push around the proteins to make it work. Everything I get comes in the mail to me from out of state. Everything I get has passed customs. None of it's illegal by any means.
Yeah.
Shipping over fentanyl. They're all legal drugs, and if you know where to get them, you can get them. And if you knew how to combine them, you could do it and take them in the proper doses. And when you say, "Oh, that sounds easy," well, look at it this way: March Madness, 64 teams. What? Nobody's ever gotten a complete, thing on ESPN before ever.
Right.
The odds are astronomical. So it's natural herb. The FDA never approves anything natural. Look, it's such a rigged system. The big pharma donates to the politicians, and the politicians write the rules for the FDA. And one of their rules is 100 milligrams has to equal 100 milligrams has to equal 100 milligrams. Plants do not conform to that rule. A plant harvested in May will not have the same molecular composition as a plant harvested in June. And so it automatically, by that rule, eliminates anything natural from the possibility of being FDA approved.
Mm.
But then I go on my Facebook and I call it my protocol. And the FDA says, by calling it a protocol, you have made it a drug. and you mailed this drug state to state, an unapproved FDA drug, and that's your crime. Basically, it's like jaywalking, and I get my hands spanked, but I had to,
Are you allowed to release this as a supplement?
I'd have to talk to my lawyers about that. I mean,
yeah.
Here's
look,
the thing,
right
Ken.
now,
Is it? Do you
right
believe?
now,
Do you
Go
believe
ahead.
anything? I mean, everything you've said as an excuse that they've given you, to me, I'll say it. You're not saying this, is total BS. It's just ridiculous way of somehow legally, verbally stopping you. My question then is,
so look,
let me
PubMed.gov is a government website.
right.
Yeah.
I have proven in my books everything I've said, albeit the big one, New Oncology Volume 2, is unpublished. However, the state of Kansas Attorney General has a copy of it. They've gone through everything, and they found me not guilty. But the FDA doesn't care about that, and they,
Well, there's probably a whole bunch of money behind treating people with chemotherapy and radiation.
if you're a congressman and you're worth millions and millions, and you have a portfolio filled with big pharma stock, what's the last thing you want? For your portfolio to go down in value.
To sink the current cancer treatments.
And you're talking about the key of it, though. It's just that it's all still political, man. So I just want to say something right here in the middle of the show right now, because it's a very important part and point, I think, that there isn't anything political about somebody dying of cancer. I bet there isn't a stat that says how many Democrats compared to Republicans die of cancer. So these are one of those people, and these are one of those interviews where I want to make sure that everybody understands. These are the types of interviews that need to be heard by everyone. You should send this to your friends. You should send this to family that is mad at you because of how you think politically. Both ways. Just say, hey, forget politics. Watch this, man. This is about us.
I'm a humanitarian.
Yeah, I'm learning. I am too. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I respect about you, because I knew from day one that you were.
Well, thank you for saying that. I totally forgot what I wanted to say. That's right, Ken. This is so overwhelming.
I'm so emotional about that fact.
Ken, what can we do? I mean, we're battling big pharma. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Is there's an incredible amount of money behind these decisions that are being made about what kind of cancer treatments we can get. Obviously, I mean, where do you think is the real path to change here?
Write to Trump. Tell him about me. If he gets 100,000 letters, you can't ignore me forever.
Ken,
I literally think that, and I've imagined this, that we do it kind of like our vaccination program. And you have a couple capsules that you take twice a day for 15 days and then again in half a year. And I believe through the pathways that'll prevent 50% of cancer cases.
Wow. Are there clinical trials behind all this too? Or does that need to be done?
Ken, I'm going to ask you a direct question that I think you may be hiding behind.
I have a couple answers lined up in a row. First, let me say that Mick, in something you said, cancer's by far not the first politically treated disease we have. The big
Agreed.
one is AIDS. AIDS was so political at first. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And COVID massively, and what big tech did to support the governments. I mean, so we've seen a couple of examples before. I forgot, Matt. What was your question?
I was just wondering, are there clinical trials that took place with any of this that could be handed over to, RFK and Trump, and or do they still need to be done?
So, in new oncology, it's split into sections, and one of the sections is there's 4 chapters on mushrooms and their effect. And it's funny because the UK, England, comes out and says in their big national cancer website, mushrooms have no effect on cancer. Well, yeah, you guys done that. Shinola. Mushrooms have a very big effect. And my chapters go into that. And one of the big effects is a molecule called ergothymine. And a lot of research was done at Penn State on ergothymine. And basically, I figured out what it's doing. There is a great study out of, I believe it was done in Darwin, Australia. And it's in that book. It's one of my favorite studies. And they separated women into 4 groups. And one, they did nothing. And that group, after however many years, had the standard incidence of cancer. And then they gave one of them a glass of green tea a day.
Mm-hmm.
And it reduced the overall incidence of cancer by so much.
Wow.
And then one of them, they gave, I believe it was 1 ounce, which is almost, maybe it was a half an ounce, of white button mushroom a day. Like half of a mushroom. And it reduced the incidence by nearly 2/3.
Wow.
And then they gave the 4th group the green tea and the mushroom. And they reduced the incidence of cancer by 90%. It was only the genetic cases that came through.
Incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Ergothymine, what it's doing is it's protecting DNA. It is absorbing UVB radiation before it can damage DNA.
Yeah.
Dr. Ken, I just one of our Marlou Renee just posted your book in the chat room, and I pinned it to the top of the chat. Please, anyone that can buy this book.
That's the first book.
Yeah.
That's just a little 100-page Kindle. The main book to read is called New Oncology.
Yeah.
This book, I like it. It was my first one. I think I'm a much better researcher by the 3rd book. But I would encourage people to
Let me change gears here a little bit, Ken, because this is so much to take in. I want to talk just a little more personally for a second. the fascinating part about this is that you may not understand this, what I'm about to tell you. So I hope you bear with me. The audience that you're in front of right now is an audience of unbelievable people, Ken. These people are, first of all, I call them patriots. They love their country very much. They also love God very much, a lot of them. And what they really love, though, is the truth. And they're the most supportive people I have ever met in my life. And when you're offering something as groundbreaking and as life-changing as what you're talking about, what I would like to do for you, if you are interested, and I'm saying it in front of everyone, is to try to get you on as many shows as possible. The first person I would love to hook you up with is a wonderful lady named BB McGuire.
Yeah.
She does a show called Doses of Deception. She's out of Annapolis.
She's a nurse.
She's a nurse. She's a brilliant researcher when she's into a subject. And I think you two need to connect. And it would be a much even more fascinating time spent with her, who knows 10 times more than Matt and I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Number one. I think as far as the there's some other interesting parts of your story where I would like to talk to some guys and get you on their shows, because Ken, I do think if the word gets out for you, and this community is very, very good at helping spread the word, and we can help you. And you're going to have to talk to your partner there, see what they want to do, but we'd love to help if we can.
Absolutely.
Man.
And Dr. Ken, I want to say that you mentioned green tea. I'm very happy you mentioned green tea earlier, because I drink it almost every single day. But you have your own product, a tea product as well. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So did you guys drink the tea I sent you?
I'm drinking it right now, actually. It's delicious. Yeah.
Awesome. Have you drinking it before now?
No, we just got it yesterday.
Yeah, so I just started drinking it today. Actually.
I know. Yeah. That's what I said to you yesterday on the phone. Is it just arrived yesterday?
Because I'll tell you, in life, how many things do you consume that you absolutely can tell an effect from them?
Right.
I'd say not many. One, alcohol. Two, maybe like a Slurpee and you get brain freeze.
Yeah.
And that's about it. When you drink this tea, wait and see how you feel tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Feel incredible.
Hey, another thing, Ken, real quick, this is important for you. One of the people that's very important in this movement, a guy named Joe Rambo, who helped us tremendously get our show out there, said this. He said, and this is kind of a laugh thing. He said, we need to buy him a $20 plug-in microphone, but I will help this guy out tremendously. And his audience is about 4 or 5 times the size ours is. Ken, so believe me, man, I really think that today could possibly be the start of something for you.
I hope so. It's so important.
This is incredible.
We got a rant from Stadium Zone 1, $1. Can we buy Dr. Ken's tea through the podcast? You can. It's actually linked in the description. And am I saying it right? Is it Pure Ami? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I had hired a what do you call it, media group to like try to come up with a brand name.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were terrible. And I was actually at an intersection in Lawrence, Kansas one day, and right in front of me was a car making a left. It was a brand new car. It was the ugliest paint color I'd ever seen. It was this nasty colored yellow, and it was a factory color. I'm like thinking, oh my God, that guy must be pure to drive a car that ugly. So it became Yoda talk for I am pure. Pure am I? So Pure Me Peace Company. And that's how the company got its name by this.
And how long has it been around?
I discovered Moyum, which is our flagship tea, to me in 2017. So
17.
for you people using PubMed, there's and these are written about. There's chapters about each one in New Oncology. The flavanol in Moyum in Quinine is called myricin, my rice tin, and it is the emperor of all the polyphenols. This molecule is amazing, and I've been studying it for years, and literally what I would do in the evening, I wouldn't watch TV for almost 2 years. I studied world botany databases, looking at what plants were making.
Yeah.
And the two previous plants that I discovered that made the most of this were cranberries and sweet potato leaves.
Wow.
Now,
The leaves of the sweet potato is what you said. The leaves?
and I actually called sweet potato farms down in North Carolina, and I wanted to buy all their sweet potato leaves. Did something hit you in the head, boy? If we give you the leaves, the potatoes will all die. And it is pretty true. So, I mean, literally, I had one farmer tell me that. In our normal diet, we get 1 milligram of myristin a day. That's about the size of a grain of salt. Okay. So I discovered this Moyum tea, and this plant is, depending on the month they harvest it, it's making 30 to 40% of its body weight as this single molecule. No other plant in the world does that for any molecule. And lo and behold, so it's making, in a 2-gram tea bag, it's making 600 to 800 milligrams of myristin. So you're getting like 2 years worth from your normal. That's one bag of this stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of my research is what will happen to the human body when that happens. And it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. What did you find?
Well, my own experience. And this is purely my experience. So when I was 18, I went with a group of friends out skiing to Winter Park, Colorado. And I'm a pretty avid expert skier. And they had this side of the mountain called Mary Jane, and they had this one run, which was real skinny. It was only 2 fall lanes wide. And I was skiing down it, and about halfway down, and I was going down the right fall lane, I decided to switch fall lanes and take a half-second breather before going down the left side. And I hit something under the snow, and it flipped me around, and it nicked my ligament in my knee, and I had a little tear, and I never got it scoped. And about once in a year, my entire life, this would flare up for about 3 days, and I would drop NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, like crazy, and it would go away, and I took everything, Advil, Aleve, et cetera, In the summer of 2017, it flared up in July, only it didn't relieve. And by August, I was eating NSAIDs like Pez candies. I could barely walk. I could not go up and down inclines at all. And to walk, I had to put my left foot forward and then bring my right foot up to it, but not even half an inch in front. and
Yeah.
stuttered. And I thought I was getting a total knee by Christmas. I discovered the Moyen tea in late October of that year, and it arrived at my condo door in DC on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And me being the stoical geezer that I am, I thought, this tea's not going to do anything for me, you know.
Yeah.
And here I could barely walk, you know. So I made a warm cup that night and drank it. 2 minutes after drinking it, my maxillary sinuses that I didn't even know were plugged up opened up. And about 3 or 4 minutes after that, my phono sinuses opened up. I didn't even know this. And a headache I didn't even know I had went away.
Hmm.
And I'm not asthmatic, but my lungs opened up and breathing became incredibly easy. And I sat there and just enjoyed breathing for about 30 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
I have an asthmatic friend down in Louisiana, and he says that this tea works faster than his inhaler at opening his lungs up.
No kidding.
Wow.
So anyway, in the meantime, you know, I could barely walk. Sunday comes, and my youngest daughter at the time goes to University of Maryland, so it's like 3 miles away or something, pretty close. And we decided to go out for a Thanksgiving dinner, just two of us on Sunday night. And we're in Silver Spring, Maryland, and there's this like alley in Silver Spring with a bunch of restaurants, and we're walking down through. We cross the street to go over to this steakhouse, and I jump up on the other curb, and I look down and I realized, oh my God, I'm in no pain.
Wow.
Wow.
The anti-inflammatory property of this had crushed the pain.
And this is after how long of drinking the tea?
That what?
How long had you been drinking the tea before you felt the effect?
5 days.
5
But
days.
I noticed it probably sooner than that. It didn't hit my forebrain until then.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Ken, there's some people, Dr. Ken, 1 second. There's some people saying they're going to your website to buy things. But
it's not up. We're redoing the website.
okay.
It will probably be up and working in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, we apologize. We didn't know that. So everyone, please, and we'll mention that, Dr. Ken, when it comes available. You let us know, and we'll certainly let you know. We apologize. Okay, back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
So anyway, I was bone on bone. I know it. I mean, my right knee was frozen due to injury that I'd done nothing about back when I was 18. You know, never got it scoped or whatever. But by that summer, my cartilage totally repaired itself, and my knee today is perfectly fine. It's incredible. When I was a senior in med school, we all had to do a research project, like a thesis for a master's program, whatever.
Yeah.
And mine was on a rare disease called Wegener's granulomatosis. It's the most evil of all autoimmune diseases. They call it, the people that have it call it the beast. It kills everybody. Western medicine has not changed in its treatment of it since I wrote my paper back in 1984, 85. And I'm probably one of the world's top experts on it based from that paper. Nobody is cured from it. Everybody dies.
Mm.
I have 2 people who have it who drank my tea and are in full remission from it.
That is incredible. And the active ingredient, is it the myrictin? Is that the active ingredient that is in this? Myricin.
So
Yeah.
Your people listening, go to PubMed.gov and in the keyword search, type in myristin, and then type in whatever ails you,
That's
inflammation.
MYRICETIN. My Ricin.
One more time, Matt.
It's MYRICETIN.
Yep.
Correct.
My Ricin. Yeah.
So let's talk about one of my other teas for a second.
Yeah.
They're all medicinal teas, traditional Chinese medicinal teas. I'm not saying they're medicinal teas, FDA, because I know you're listening. They're called traditional medicinal teas.
Yeah.
That's their official name.
Sure.
So I have this other one called Eagle Tea. And Eagle Tea makes the highest known concentration of two flavanols, camphorol and quercetin. So most people probably heard of quercetin. You buy supplements for it. You can buy supplements, I think, for camphorol too, but they're not delivering what they say. Anyway, camphorol is really interesting because in 1976, I believe it's 76, this nation started what's called nurse health study. And they recruited 69,000 nurses and they studied them. And about the only thing they really learned from it was how to do it better. So in 1989, I believe, I may be wrong, but they started Nurse Health Study 2. And they recruited 113,000 nurses. And they studied them, including everything they were eating. Well, in the 1990s, we had the supercomputer revolution. So they started taking these preliminary numbers after about a decade and typing them into computers. And the very first thing that they shot out was that the people whose diets had more camphorol were peaking out at the highest ratings of every biometric they were measuring. They're getting 5 stars across the board. Back in the late 90s, we didn't even know what camphorol does. So a bunch of PhDs were like, hey, I can get funded by studying this. So we started a bunch of camphorol studies. And what they found out was that it is resolving fibrosis, and especially organ fibrosis. And by doing this, it can youthify your major organs, like your liver and kidneys.
Wow. That's amazing.
This Eagle Tea has even been shown in the medical literature to be able to reverse alcoholic liver cirrhosis.
Incredible.
Which is basically has no cure by Western medicine.
Yeah.
All right. So
this is ancient medicine from the Chinese.
Yeah.
That seems to be almost more effective than how we're treating people today.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
End-stage kidney disease, it can bring back kidney function. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get you off dialysis. I'm not God. But,
there's some results out there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, listen. So I think what we're doing, and we're going to wrap up here with you, Ken, then Matt and I are going to finish our show. But today is going to be show one of many, as far as I'm concerned, Matt, because I would love to make this something that we really follow up on.
Real quick question, though.
Yeah.
Because there are an awful lot of people in our comments here who want to buy your tea.
Yes.
We have the website linked in our description right now, so you can go and find the website. They're asking if there's anywhere else they can go to buy the tea currently. Is that
No,
available
no.
anywhere? Okay.
I'm the sole importer of all of these.
Yeah.
And be ready in 2 to 3 weeks.
I,
We'll get that out.
I have a huge shipment coming over, because I basically ordered a huge shipment to have inventory prior to the show. So,
Well, I got news for you. You're probably going to need more, because I'm going to work really hard in getting this out for you, because I don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
you want to hear a funny story?
I would love to.
So I discovered this tea late one night looking, and how lucky am I that the plant that I was hoping would be out there that would super produce this molecule, my ricin, ended up being a delicious tea, non-perishable. If it had been lima beans, I'd have been toast. But
I got news for you. I don't mind lima beans, but that's a funny story.
You know, something I found out about tea recently is that it all comes from the exact same plant. The only difference in like green tea is from black tea.
No, they're different plants.
Oh, it is different.
This is a unique plant.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I thought it was the area in which it was grown.
It only grows in one high mountain valley in northwestern Hunan.
Yeah.
And the people that live there, they're called the Tujia minority. There's 53 minorities in China. It would be like us saying Pawnee Indian. They're a subculture.
Yeah.
They discovered this tea about 600 years ago. Every single bud. So what you're getting is the Quinn Young cut, which is the bud and the first leaf. The rest of the plant does not produce it may produce 1%, but you know it's the bud and the first leaf that's producing that 30 to 40%. Everyone's hand picked, and they hand roll every bit of it. Only the Tujia women do it. The men don't use the proper strength, and they want to roll it just to the proper amount to liberate the myristin.
Wow.
And they drink it. They drink it since childhood. Interestingly, they have the longest average life expectancy on the planet.
This is what part of the world?
Years. The Tujia around the world, the Tujia minority.
Where's that located?
Northwestern Hunan province in China.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
And I figured out why. And it's the tea that's doing it. And it's working to create a reaction within the body that's basically protecting DNA. Also, in this country, 1 in 5,000 people reaches 100 years old. In their society, it's 1 in 5.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
Is
that one of the blue zones in the world?
Or
is that an anomaly that they're growing this stuff and drinking it out there?
Well, the guy who wrote Blue Zones was, he was a bicycle rider, and he did make this observation, but he hired a bunch of doctors to go around, and all they did was go and collect money. They really came up with nothing. When you look at one of the Blue Zone, and he did not mention this one because he didn't find it.
Right.
But one of the ones he mentioned is Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
The reason the Costa Ricans are living so long is because of the molecule ergothymine, which I mentioned in the mushrooms earlier.
Yeah.
Because they eat black beans 3 times a day. And black beans are one of the major sources of ergothymine. And that's
Isn't
why
it
they're
weird?
living long and healthy.
Isn't it weird when you could just break it down to one simple thing like beans?
Yeah,
a
like
leaf,
natural food.
just the way you live off the land.
Yeah, real food
determines your health. All right, Dr. Ken Crawford, this has been incredible, fascinating. The audience absolutely loved you.
We need to get your word out, man.
One person did have two questions. One from Michelle, the Bean says, was the doctor in Lawrence, Kansas, working with KU Med? His cousin helped map DNA for cancer. Did you ever work at, I guess it's Kansas University?
No, I went to med school there, but and let's see, in 2013, I met with the chairman of the Department of Oncology there, but I've really not done anything with it. Interestingly, they have a natural treatment department of cancer there. They're kind of, they're just throwing spaghetti. They don't know what they're doing.
Whoa, okay. All right. And then Fade to Lisa wants to know, can my son go to his office in Portland, Oregon, and buy it from there? I don't know what that means. Do you understand that, Matt?
I didn't read it.
It
sorry.
says, can my son go to his office in Portland, Oregon, and buy it from there?
I think the answer is it's only available on the website.
Correct. Your products are only available online, right, Ken?
Unless they text me, but I don't want to give my text.
I
get 500 texts a day, as it is.
And if you could clarify something, Dr. Ken, people were asking, they heard black beans and black seeds. Were you mentioning both of those?
Well, I black beans because of Costa Rica, because of the ergothymine. The molecules involved, I've detailed out in my book, New Oncology, Volume 1, and you can read about those molecules and where they're found, the foods. Because what I do is I find molecules and then I look for the plants that super produce them. As an example, okay, other than my books on cancer, there's one book that I actually highly recommend that people read. It's very simple. It's only 100 pages long. It's $10 on Amazon. It's called Curing Cancer with Carrots.
With carrots.
And the cover is kind of this cartoon drawn bunny, and it's kind of orange. Because the woman who wrote it, who had breast cancer, she wrote children's books, so it kind of looks like that. And what she did was she juiced 5 pounds of carrots a day and drank it. And she goes into the molecule that she was getting and why she did it. The molecule is called luteolin. And if she just contacted me, I'd have told her to go to the herb thyme, THYME, and if you get the tincture, what you were getting in those 5 pounds of carrots, you could get in 1 ounce of tincture of thyme.
Mm.
So all of my teas and what they do, they're the highest concentration of these flavonols. For instance, the myristin in the moyum, quinine. If you took the myristin found in either cranberries or sweet potato leaves, and you took 100 grams of either of those, and you extracted the myristin, and you were able to turn it into a fuel that would power a car, it would drive that car for half a mile. if you did the same process, excuse me, I had the hiccups. If you did the same process with 100 grams of the Moyum tea, and you converted the extracted myristin to energy, so the same thing, same quantity, it would drive that car from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles,
Wow.
California.
Crazy. Dr. Ken, we have to jump. Thank you so much. You have been amazing guest.
Yeah, we've got your tea linked. We're going to link the book up as well in our show notes, so people will be able to find both of those things. And yeah, we would love to facilitate you getting on some other shows just to get all this amazing information out to the public. And hopefully they'll start writing letters.
Well, it's been a pleasure being with you two, too.
All right, buddy.
Likewise,
we'll talk
Dr.
soon,
Ken.
man.
Thank you.
Thank
Nikki,
you.
give me a call. Give me a call later.
I will. I promise. Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Dr. Ken.
See ya. Wow, dude. Let's bring Joe right in. He's getting ready to start his show.
Buddy.
He's going to start checking in with us, Matt, and letting know what's coming up
here
today.
Yeah.
So that our brain can melt. Go ahead, Joe.
What's up, gentlemen? Dr. Ken was awesome. That was
Dude,
really cool.
was that unreal?
I was lurking. I was lurking and working. That's
I hear you.
the only issue with your guys' show being right before mine. I can be here, but I'm kind of
I get it, bro. He
You're
said,
working.
man, what he talked about today was insane. He basically said on the show, I believe I can naturally fix cancer.
I
Fix
believe
half of it in the population.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do too. I
yeah.
believe him.
you guys know this has been talked about, right?
But he actually put it in a way I've never heard it described like this. I've never heard it treated like this, and how he can pinpoint it down to a body particular is unreal. So, what are we doing today, Joe?
You know, cancer's in the drops, right?
Get out of here.
No, it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mean in today's drops in the deltas? You mean?
No, he's talking about general.
Oh, yeah.
Does it mention curing cancer?
It does.
Holy shnikes, Batman.
Yeah. Make sure the list of resignations remains updated. Important. When does Big Pharma make money? Curing or containing cancer, AIDS, etc. Q. How long till we have to wait for the cures of cancer and other sicknesses? Chatter amongst those in control has begun. They know we know, which means the public will know. Release prior to cover up, public informed and collapse. Which option? They've hinted over and over and over that there's a cure of cancer.
Unbelievable, man.
I'm looking
this is when
it's infuriating.
Joe,
you know?
This is when you guys still always remain so calm now.
Yeah.
I haven't figured that part out, because in hearing what you read, like, it makes me want to leave this studio and go out and get one of them trucks that has that gun on top and just start driving and just mowing people
banging
down.
on Bear's door.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 you know? Yeah. Don't do that, by the way.
Yeah, no, please, no one. God, no. But man.
Well, it's a really good segue, because I do have to jump off. But what we're going to start today with is we're going to talk about psyops as a whole, and then we're going to apply it to some of the current news.
I love that, dude.
Yeah, it's a great example of what we just looked at. So we're gonna I'm basically gonna explain why I look at things the way I look at them.
I love that.
Right? Because if you just watch the news cycle, you are a victim of psyop. If you understand what psyops are and then apply when you allow them to give you information, it gives you a whole different perspective.
I've started to do that. Probably not as good as you, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have too, and it's thanks to your comment you made on Q School the other day, and I've also started reading Michael Flynn's book, The Fifth Generation Warfare. So that's really all that combined is starting to solidify it and make me look at things differently, which is amazing.
You know what's cool? Like, you ever meet a religious guy and he can quote the Bible chapter, verse?
Yeah.
Rambo's like that with Q and Flynn's book.
Yeah.
Oh, page 94, line 18 clearly says Rambo is the man.
Wait, do you know what? You know what's you've been reading the book, right? I'm going to test you real quick.
Well, I'm on chapter 2 of the book. So how far are we?
So you already went through 1-7, right?
Yeah.
What's 1-7?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Psychological operations.
What is it?
Psychological operations. PSYOPs.
Psychological operations.
Yeah,
1-7.
1-7.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
You know,
codes within the codes, bro.
dude,
Yeah.
that is so cool, bro. It's so fun. It is literally so fun. Somebody
love
asked
it.
me the other day, I swear to God, I made the autism joke on stage. And after the show, this guy goes, dude, what if it really is like just a bunch of dudes with autism playing a game that's not real? I go, these dudes are the guys I want to hang out with the rest of my life then. Because this is way funner. This is way more fun than anything I've ever done with normies or
Right.
whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's hilarious. Oh,
Check
dude,
out-
this is so
check out-
great.
I got my new Panthers jersey.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, my
A
God.
lot of 17s in that house, I'm sure.
All right, bro. So PsyOps today. I will see you sometime before 2:30, my
Yeah.
friend, in your studio. And thank you again for the invite.
I'll be
All right.
watching, Joe. Thank you,
Yeah.
buddy.
We'll be
All right.
raiding in a
Yeah.
minute. All right, buddy. See you, man. Dude, I like that we can kind of do that. You know how they do it like on TV?
Yeah, coming up next.
Coming up next.
Let's tease it. We're going
right?
to tease
I
it every
thought
day.
that was cool.
We'll tease it and we'll rate it.
I wonder what the chat room thought of that.
I'm sure they liked it.
Let's honestly, because I like I want to know what people thought. Like, did you like that little check-in with Rambo at the end of our show to see what he's going to talk about? I just wondering, Matt.
I think
I
it's
don't
a
know
dumb,
how
I
much-
think it's a dumb question for us to even ask.
Why?
I think they'll love it.
No, the reason I'm asking, Matt, is because I want to know if people like stuff because we're bringing different stuff.
I
to
got
them.
you. I
You know
got
what
you.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be too
I got
cheesy.
a course. Absolutely. Yes. Always love Rambo. Loved it. Yeah. I mean, it's going too
It was
fast. Of
gold,
course.
of
Yes.
Yeah, all
There's
right,
not
awesome.
one no in there.
It's just
Yeah.
kind of like it's like a radio thing we used to do.
Yeah.
So I just wanted
Radio
to see.
/TV.
That's all. I'm just testing the audience, Matt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you could maybe say you're sorry for saying it
I'm
was a
sorry,
dumb
Mick.
question.
I'm sorry. I wasn't calling you dumb.
Well, actually, yeah, it's exactly what you did.
I did not.
Dude, listen, I know we got to go in a minute or two, but Matt, we need to take a deep breath, dude. This is two shows.
I mean, I was just going to say
Last
two
night-
heavy health shows in a row. I mean,
I'm
you know,
drinking water and eating bark for a week and see what happens. Dude, this is nuts, man.
yeah. Yeah. So, moral of last night and today, don't drink, what's it called? The fluoric acid, not fluoric acid. Have I already forgotten? Folic acid.
Folic acid.
Don't consume folic acid.
Folate is what we want.
Folate, the natural stuff, is what we want.
Can you believe how good I paid attention?
I know. And then today, essentially, you know, we got to start looking at natural means, and we got to start
All right.
pressing our politicians to make this happen.
I need
You
to know if you and the room heard what I heard today. Is that cool?
Yeah.
You mind?
yeah.
Okay, here's what I heard today. He knows a way, based on testing that is already done, that you could read it differently, figure out which gates are open in the cellular level,
Where the blocks come down.
where the
walls.
blocks come,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
walls are. You can figure out where those gates come down, like he said,
And then how to treat it naturally.
how to treat it naturally based on that exact gate. And you can do that for each person. And we already do the test that would show us the results.
Yeah. Get the word out, please. Not for us.
Matt,
Share this show. Tell everybody
should
about
we
it.
call the news?
We are the news, buddy.
No, I mean,
But
like,
yeah, I mean, of
see
course.
if they'll just deny it. Like, say, hey, man, we had a dude on our show today that said he can cure cancer. Like, why wouldn't you want to talk to that man? Then let him say, well, it's scientifically
well, they're
proven.
afraid. There's all kinds of legal in the way of them bringing somebody on to say stuff like that. You know
Okay,
that?
Then you know what you do?
You put a disclaimer up. I get it.
And you
but,
just
but they're
simply
too
say
afraid.
the
People are too afraid to be sued. But somebody's got to step up, right?
But aren't we? Yes, but
What?
aren't we the ones to say, at least to the government or whoever, hey, can you just prove this wrong?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's big pharma's money in the way of all
But
that.
you take them out of it.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We're going to raid Rambo, but
all the money,
please share the
Matt.
show. Smash that
money.
like button. You would help us out tremendously.
It's the money.
If you're on X watching this, come over to Rumble and follow us there, and vice versa. Go to X and follow us on the X profile.
I don't want to end the show, Matt. I feel so fired up and like We got to, we're not going to do anything stupid, but we got to really buckle down here and use our talents and skills
to get this word out.
To get the word out in the right way. So that
I'll tell you, first of all, this tea tastes great. If anybody's wondering, I'm enjoying it.
And you're, hey, not to be weird, but you're like naturally a tea guy.
I love coffee.
Yeah.
I drink tea every single day.
Right.
I mean, for the past 30 plus years.
Right.
And I'll let you know exactly how I feel after drinking this too.
Yeah, listen to me. If you come on this show tomorrow like this,
and we don't get any money for this, by the way. We're not getting any money
for the show tomorrow, and you're like, dude, what's up? Yeah, man, we're just gonna like talk about conspiracy stuff. If you come in here all hippied out, like if it made you that dude, I'm gonna burn all that tea. I need a little edge on you, bro. A little edge, all right?
Yeah, no,
we can never lose the edge.
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good right now. I'll let you know how I'm feeling after maybe day 2 of drinking this tea.
All right, real quick. Did you feel unqualified to have that, to do that interview?
There was a lot of science in there, but I think he explained it very well.
Did you think my disclaimer in the middle of it was weird?
No, I mean, we've got to be careful. Look, we bring him on as a guest. He's obviously the expert. So we're listening to what the expert has to say. This isn't us giving any advice.
Because a couple people in the room, I think, had an issue with it. And I was like thinking, what? Well, am I losing credibility now by saying a disclaimer? I think I'm gaining it because I said from the beginning, this is a show about
truth.
Learning.
We're looking for the truth.
It's about learning.
Yeah.
It's not about knowing. If I knew, I would just monologue, never have guests, and just entertain everybody with my brilliant know-it-all. I'd like to do the show where I'm asking questions and finding out shit in real time. Yeah. I think that's the most fascinating part of all of it.
Yep.
Because other people are doing, I know, are like in their heads, they're asking similar questions. And when they get the answers, it's like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean?
Well, you should be skeptical, but you should also be open to hearing new information. And, I'm giving the tea a shot, right?
Oh, I misunderstood. He was saying it to protect me. Never mind.
He told you to make a disclaimer.
He was basically saying above the rabbit hole, making disclaimer. Like, I guess he was saying, like, that's authentic. That's, you're not just going with it.
Sure.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
M. Joseph 216.
Matt, they want us to end with a little Alex Jones. We got a request. Can we wrap up this, both of us here?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the tea? Because we'll talk about the tea.
The tea's unbelievable. Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
Listen, I feel like I got lightning bolts just flowing through my entire body right now.
It's the weirdest thing. I woke up this morning, Matt, and I thought to myself, you know what? Today's the day I meet the guy that cured cancer.
Listen, I'm not an upbeat guy at all, and I need something to make me feel a little bit more upbeat in the morning.
The tea's a side effect from the guy that cured cancer. You understand? A man said today on the show that he cured cancer. And did you watch those two idiots, Mickey and Matt? They just sat there like, whoa, yeah, because it's a weird thing. Somebody, hey, I cured cancer. By the way, I want to get Ken on Alex Jones somehow.
Yeah,
like to the
amazing.
top. And then all I want Ken to do is go, hey, did you ever hear Mickey and Matt do you, Alex? That would be the highlight of my career. Because I do think that, I've said it, I'm on record. He's the most entertaining news entertainment dude I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, entertaining.
The frogs are gay.
I wish we had that loaded up. All right, let's get out of here.
Love everybody.
Let's raid Rambo.
We're done. See ya.
We'll see you tomorrow at noon East, everybody. Did I rate him yet? Let me go rate him here.
This is so fun.
Oh, good looking. We're going to rate him right away today. You know why? Because he has a show.
Yeah. Can't be used for the raid, Matt.
Oh, my God.
You do this Matt, listen, it's becoming like how we end the show.
I know, man.
You realize.
Look, here it is, right? We're going to go to this. Nope.
No, what do you do all this stuff like the dumbest ways? Yep, copy the link.
What do you mean the dumbest ways? This is how you do
now,
it.
Go in the chat. Now type raid or whatever it is
/ raid.
Right. Space. Control V. Now
thanks,
hit.
Mick.
Yeah.
Thanks for the help.
No problem. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Thank God for Mick's help.
We love you.
Let's play an outro for everybody that's still with us, though. Here. Thank you, everybody.